you feel sometimes like you're isolated as a small business owner? Do you feel like there's nobody to reach out to for help? Well, have you ever considered building a team of people to really be that network for you when you need advice and when you need expert help? Well, that's what we're going to talk about today in our Power of Business video. Our effort today is sponsored by University of Nebraska-Lincoln, North Dakota State University, the University of Vermont, E-Extension, and it's partially funded by some funds from the National E-Commerce Initiative from the Southern Rural Development Center. I'm excited today to have Glenn Muskie with me. Glenn is just an expert here in networking and helping small business owners think about building that team of people. Glenn is from the North Dakota State University, so welcome, Glenn.
Thank you. And you're very correct, Connie, that you don't have to know everything. You just have to know the people who know everything. And that's sort of how, when we get in there, there's a great quote on that. We don't know everything. We never will know everything. But there are people out there. There are resources out there. And today we're talking about networking with people. But also remember there are other resources, written resources and stuff. But again, it's coming back to those people who may know what that resource is and helping you figure it out. I don't know everything, none of us do, but yet I can find things. And today, as we've done in some of our other discussions, we've talked about mobile. It is so easy, no matter where I'm at, to begin to network. And so as we think about networking, we often think today, we hear it in terms of we're doing this online. But really, the networking and my hints today are going to be about networking, whether you're doing it online or traditionally, because we still have lots of meetings and lots of time to go meet people. So when you're networking, one of the keys in networking is knowing, what do you need? Who do you need? What information are you looking for? So you don't go into networking with no plan in mind. You think about what you want, and then you work to get there. So effective networking, most people don't do it right. Sorry to say that as we've observed people and watched people, about 95% of the networking we do, and I will put myself in there big time, is a waste of time. I don't have a goal, just like I mentioned. I didn't have a goal when I walked into that room. I didn't have a goal when I went to that social media site. And I get my goal set up was nothing because I had no goal. I had no understanding of what I was looking for. So you need to go in there. But remember, it's not a contest. It's not the person who wins is that person who gave away the most business cards. The person who wins, if we want to use it in such a term, is the person who gets answers to the questions that they walk into that room for. But remember, you may not get the questions that day. That networking is something that evolves. It takes time. You build it. It's not collecting, as I say, the most handshakes or, the one I put at the bottom here that people get the biggest chuckle at. It's not the most trips to the snack bar. That is not what wins the networking contest. It is work, it's effort, it's not relaxation. And so let's talk about networking.
Well, and it's really about finding the right people.
Exactly.
And that is a real challenge and I think very difficult. And so it's reaching out, and it's really, like you indicated, knowing what you want, but then having the intuition to know who the right people are.
Right. And it's somehow creating a system where you keep track of who you met and what they can offer. And remember, as you're making your connections, there are three types of people out there. Those who need me, these are the people you're looking for, those who need me, those I need, and maybe those who will help take me to the next step. As we work through this and stuff, those people can help you with trends. They can help you learn who the competition is. They may be the competition. How many times haven't you seen competitors sitting down in the same room? We go to professional conferences, and that's what it's all about. And yet, that's part of your network. Who better else can tell you about your industry than your competitors and what they hear going on? Or we're not going to share the secrets, all the secrets and tips that we have, but we're going to talk about what's going on in our industry. So you need to be there. And you need to be there whether that's happening in a professional conference or maybe there's a LinkedIn site where they're meeting at and stuff. So social media is starting to play into this network, but the general goal of networking stays the same, And in many ways, the tools work the same way. But you have to be there. You pointed out very correctly, Connie, you have to be there. It isn't going to just come to you. Here's just some definitions of network. It's an informal process of linking people to each other to help, assist, and find. And the widely held definition is, I know it when I see it, but I don't understand how to make it work. And so our goal today is to help you get some tips on how to make it work. So why? Why do you want to network? It's shared resources, as Connie pointed out. It's linking and shared resources. You've all heard of the Kevin Bacon, 6 degrees to Kevin Bacon. Well, today they think with that linking that we probably can get to people in 3 or 4 links and not 6 anymore, including Kevin Bacon and stuff. And this is actually, I put this up here as an example of the power of networking. In 2009, now think of how long ago that was in today's world of technology. In 2009, DARPA, which is part of the Defense Department, put 10 red balloons, weather balloons, anchored them in the United States, and threw out the challenge, find these. Who can first give us the exact location of all 10 weather balloons? They thought it would take a week. The winners, 9 hours. In 2009, that was the power of networking then. So imagine what the power of networking could be. How do I get my goods from point A to point B or international? Go online. Find, and you have to set it up, and that's why we're encouraging you to do this, but go online. Ask questions. People love to be of assistance. And so that's the whole idea. So why network? It can get no more powerful than that, and it's like your encyclopedia on wheels here and stuff. So you can get everything you need to know just by asking questions of the right people and finding those people. So who? As I said, whether you're your competitors or non-competitive competitors, those people in the same industry but maybe across the country, you're only handling a small regional or local area, so ask them. You want to talk to like-minded people, but you also want the non-like-minded. And that's why the association I've had with Connie, we come from a little bit different places on technology and social media. And it's great that we have these discussions and we can talk to each other, referral partners, etc.
Well, and we challenge each other. And that's the other part of networking, I think, Glenn, that really makes it way more powerful from the small business owner. Again, the folks that are in rural America feel isolated and don't necessarily have other people within the community or within the location to visit about. And so oftentimes I'm going down a particular path. You might challenge me with that particular path, and we might go off on a path that is way stronger and better for the decisions that we're going to be making about our business than I ever would if I would have just been myself making that decision.
Yeah, and I like your point that you made there in that hint you were giving us about rural. Mm-hmm. So often the rural business owner does feel isolated. I've worked a lot with home-based business owners, and they've always felt isolated. Well, rural business owners also have that isolation because there's nobody like me out here, or I don't know who to go talk to, or they are my competitors, because it is a scary process. Today, there is no reason to feel that way because, as I said, we can do a lot of this together with person to person in the same room. But today we have great opportunities to do this all online. And find the right tool, and we'll come to that here in a little bit. But you just find the right tool. Where are those people that you want to talk to? Mm-hmm. Don't assume they're going to be on Facebook or Pinterest, or you need to find them. Those probably aren't the resources. If you're looking for business resources, you might want to look elsewhere, but you may find them there too. So how do you do it? No matter whether you're online or whether you're doing this in a room full of people, it's attitude. Set objectives and plan. And be yourself. Know what you want to say. When you go in, you need to have your elevator pitch. And that elevator pitch says who you are, what you're about, what your company is, where to find you. But it also, when you're thinking of networking and good networking, you're also thinking about what is the question I most need answered. Now, in a networking situation, typically that question will not be answered today. That's not the idea of a networking situation, is to get answers. It's to make connections, and down the road, you say, hey, I need to talk to you further some other day. So that's where you get the answers, is not immediately. It's probably going to be down the road. Good networkers listen. They thank people. They refer people. That's the greatest networking you can get. And to strengthen your reputation is to begin to be a referrer. And I've watched a couple people in my life who I said are great rainmakers or networkers, and they were so good at referrals. They would take somebody and say, oh, you need to meet. And it just takes practice, 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 practice.
And listening is so hard, Glenn. It is just the biggest challenge for any of us because we all like to talk. And but it is really, your point about listening is so critical, and listening to the true meaning of what people are trying to say. And you might have to ask some clarifying questions in that whole conversation as you begin to trust those resources and those people that you want to network with.
So, yeah, and this is, more about the how. I actually found these in regards to networking online. But again, I'm going to challenge you to think that they really fit whether you're online or whether you're offline. Start small. Don't walk into a room full of people and think you're going to grab up 20 people. You take one by one by one. Watch and listen and learn and lurk, as we call it in the online world.
Yep.
But you can do that also in a group situation and stuff. Have your profile. That's your business card, your elevator speech. But online, it's your online profile, because people are going to look at you afterwards and they're going to try, well, who is this I was talking to, and how can they help me? And so remember that in this networking situation today, you have that online profile. And if you're not up there somewhere, if I come in and I think you might be a possible player or somebody who has a resource for me, but you don't have a profile, sorry, probably not going to be in touch with you again. And even though I had good intentions, it's just not going to happen. So, and think about the preferred connections. Where are the people that you're connecting with? Where are they at? Whether it's online or whether it's in meetings. Do they go to the chamber meeting? Do they go to Rotary? Do they go to a professional meeting, etc.? And then add value. Don't just be sitting back all the time and taking in. We talked about listening. But at times you have to add value. And that value can be hints, tips. Here's a customer that I can't handle that you maybe can handle, but it also is just working with them and contributing however you can to them being a success.
One point about your online presence, Glenn, or your online profile, is to make that consistent. So as you've created those online profiles, make sure that they are consistent from site to site to site, because that builds that reputation. And people can begin to trust you because of your consistency.
Thank you, Connie. That is so important, and I'm glad you brought up that point. And although I mentioned some sites that I said might be better, that's just, we were just using these as examples. But it doesn't hurt to have a profile on some sites that you may not think may be the sites, just sort of to be out there and to be visible.
Yeah.
Your networking tools, your business card, that will always stay one of your key networking tools. The business cards of others. I often will give people 2 business cards, and they'll look at me and say, why? And I say, because I want to have you have some to share. So if you think you could use somebody else's business cards, ask for some extra ones. You'll make them feel that's a proud moment when, hey, I can share this with somebody else. Give me some extra. So think about that. Name badge, your online profile, and be consistent with your online profile, and your website. You need to have a website that brings everybody sort of a home. It's just like your home. It's just like the store you may or may not have. That's where you start. So networking equals success. It offers return on investment, and that return you get both in terms of finances and non-monetary terms. It may not be dollars walking in the door, but it may be a tip on how to do it better. It may be a resource on how to handle things a little bit easier. You don't know what it's going to be, or it may be just that person who decides to make a referral to somebody else for you. So, for the power of business, that is one of the things we wanted to talk about, is the importance of networking. For more resources, you can find us at powerofbusiness.net. You will find out there fact sheets, other videos that may may link into this and stuff, and we would encourage you to check us out, and it just keeps growing all the time, including videos from business owners like yourself. And those videos, some of them are coming to us on Friday 15 live chats. On the first Friday of every month, we're offering tips to business owners from business owners, and I think that's really crucial that you're hearing from peers such as yourself. So first Friday of every month, they're 15 minutes in length. They're at 12:15 Eastern Time. We can figure out the rest of the times from there, and you can register at powerofbusiness.net. So join us. We'd love to have you there, and stop in at our website because we think it can be a great resource and part of your network.
Very good, Glenn. You know, you don't have to be alone. You don't have to feel like you're isolated in rural America. By building some of the networks that Glenn has talked about and using some of the tips, you can have a wealth of knowledge right there in real time. Thank you so very much.